Well, welcome back to the weekly podcast of iServeRealness, the iServeRealness show. On behalf of Blessed Broadcast, I want to say, number one, thank you. I come to you in gratitude and humility and love, peace, and light, and all that other great, wondrous things. But this is the first iServeRealness show of 2018. Can you believe it? We've made it. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Oh my gosh, that was so corny. Sorry. Anyway, back to it. It's been a while since I've connected with you guys on this podcast, and for quite some time, for quite so many reasons. I needed to, check in with myself, get through the holidays, be with family, be with myself, be with my loved ones, do all the crazy shopping, do all the crazy eating and the drinking and the partaking of just good old American culture or whatever have you whenever the holidays hits. And I needed to restore so that I can come back to you anew and fresh and in love and in peace and in light. And so I hope you do enjoy this podcast and this message. It's going to be a pretty short one. Going forward, I know there's supposed to be weekly podcasts. Podcasts, is that even a word? Anyway, I know there's supposed to be a weekly podcast for on behalf of Blessed Broadcast, but I'm just going to allow the universe to move me and allow my God to fulfill me. And whenever I have something to pour out to you guys, I'll be sure to just make sure I'm present and aware and fully attuned and connected so that I can be my best and authentic self and therefore be the best and authentic and most loving spiritual being for you, because after all, that's what these podcasts are about. That's what my messages are about. That's what I'm about. I believe I was literally placed here on earth to, in the physical, one of the main reasons was to enhance the lives of people that I come in contact with, and I do so by serving realness. I do so by teaching and spreading love and light through words for you to orchestrate on how to love on yourself so much so that it governs you on how to spread love and light and peace and harmony to others. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. So I'd like to focus on being kind and gentle to yourself and listening to yourself. That, I think, is the forerunner from what my spirit has been giving me for this first message of 2018. Oftentimes I've talked about it and I've spoken on it on this topic many of times before, and being on autopilot and just going. And in that, it's always great to stop, breathe, feel yourself, listen to your inner being, listen to your inner voice. What is it that you like to eat? What are you feeling today? Do you feel like dressing up? Do you feel like putting on lipstick? Do you feel like being loud and crazy? Or do you feel like being just having a moment of stillness and being meek and quiet and reserved? What is it that you want? I encourage you to ask that question of yourself every single day, because that's what I've been doing lately, and it's really been something small, but something small that's had such a major and big impact on my life. And so, of course, with the new year right here, you have all of these New Year's resolutions and going to the gym. I'm going to lose 50 pounds. I'm going to eat better. I'm not going to eat this. I'm not going to drink this. I'm not going to smoke that. I'm not going to do this or whatever have you. And you see all the memes on social media about, new year, new me. And, we partake and we laugh at because we've all been a victim of that. We've said it. We've saw it. We've seen it in other people. And we just have to laugh because, January is the startup month. It's the renewing month. And then by February or March, those resolutions that, I'm going to include myself in it, that we tend to make with ourselves are broken. Heck, by the second week of the month of the renewal month, those resolutions are broken. So for me personally, I don't make New Year's resolutions, but I do like to often make commitments. And I don't do that just in the beginning of the year. I like to do those things. I like to make these commitments every 3 months, every other day. It just depends on where I have to check in with myself and listen to myself and ask myself, what is it that you genuinely want? What is it that you're genuinely looking for? And then govern my actions on what that may be. And then listening to myself and communicating that with myself, it fosters me to then make new commitments or to, or gives me courage and motivation to stay focused and on what it is that I've committed to doing to myself. And of course, for me personally, one thing I ask the universe and I ask my God for on a consistent basis is that I gain consistency and that I'm able to give consistency, because whatever it is that you want, you have to make sure that you're willing to not only receive it but give it, because that's the only way you're going to get it is if you give it. law of attraction. That's just life. That's how I view life. And so consistency is very important for me. And so I have to make a commitment to myself that I'm going to be consistent in the way I eat, in the way I act, in the way I show compassion towards others, in the way to others, in the way I love, in the way that I perform, in the way I treat my body, my temple, my life, my mind, and so that I can be the best person for me, and that I can be the best person to and for other people. And so that's what today's message is about. Just listening to yourself, checking in with yourself, seeing how you can be better, how you can improve your communication, how you can improve your loving, how you can improve your way of thinking, how you can improve just being an overall better you. And so I'll start with communication. I recently looked at a vlog. Well, it was a circuit from a video that Jada Pinkett Smith had with Willow Smith and her mother. Oh, why is her mother's name not coming to mind? Dear God, forgive me, because she's my favorite actress. Jada Pinkett Smith is my favorite actress ever. Anyway, little rambling. And I've seen the excerpt before, but it was just so renewing to see it again. When she was explaining to her daughter, explaining to Willow, what it means to be there for her and for her brothers and for her husband, but more importantly, what it means to be there for herself. And she said one thing to her daughter that really stuck out with me. And she said, communication, it's important that you remain in communication with me and with your family, because communication creates partnership. And so how that relates to my topic today is that you have to communicate with yourself, and you have to be sure that you're honest with yourself. And in the way that you communicate with yourself is very important. And it's very important in the sense that we have to be gentle with ourselves. We have to be forgiving of ourselves. We're not perfect. And even though we may make a commitment to ourselves and we may stumble and fall, I know I'm personally guilty of saying, oh my gosh, you're so stupid. Oh my gosh, you're so wrong. Oh my gosh, that was so terrible of you. What can you do to make it better? And asking what you can do to make it better is very helpful. But first and foremost, it's always great to forgive yourself. So when you make a mistake, or when you kind of fall off track or kind of go wayward or whatever have you, or you find that you break the commitment to yourself, the first thing you need to do is apologize sincerely. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That was so not my intention. That was so not my point of doing this. I wasn't motivated correctly to make you feel this way. And I'm talking to myself here, because once you foster that apology, that sincere apology, and you come to yourself with gratitude, it then opens up a new way of life and of thinking, and of moving on ultimately, so that you don't lose countless nights not sleeping, or thinking about the same mistake that you've made over and over and over again. So it's important that you forgive yourself. You ask yourself for forgiveness, and then you actually do forgive yourself. And that leads me into how you communicate with yourself, in a sense of being gentle and being kind. Speak to yourself how you would want to be spoken to. It's not okay for you to degrade yourself, or for you to come at yourself in such a heavy or harsh tone, or just not a positive way. You have to be cognizant of certain things and certain ways that you say things, and how you interpret it, and how you ultimately understand the journey that you're on. So it's very important that you're kind to yourself. It's very important that you're gentle with yourself, because that way you're able to easily connect with yourself, to get back on track, to get back on focus, and to ultimately foster a different way of loving yourself. And of course, once you're comforted in loving yourself, you can automatically learn to comfort someone else in love, and learn to love someone else. And I'm not saying that there's even though, no, I'm going to say that there is definitely an improper way to love someone, and then there's definitely a proper way to love someone. And we all have different levels on which we receive love, and how we give love, and how we, act in love. But that's another topic for another show. Maybe next week's show. The next time I come on. What do you think? So, back to connecting with yourself and putting yourself first. That is one thing that I am actively learning in my journey and in my process of life right now, to definitely put yourself first and be gentle with yourself and communicate with yourself and connect with yourself and check in with yourself to make sure that you're ultimately being the best person that you can be. And so I'll leave it at that. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate. Be sure to email me at iServeRealness@gmail.com. You can find me on most social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, at iServeRealness. I love you. I appreciate you. If no one has told you today, I'm here to tell you, you are wonderful, you are worthy, you are powerful, you are so empowering. You are such a god, you're such a goddess, you're a king, you're a queen, you are love. Your possibilities of life and a great life is infinite. And so take that from me to you. Also, if you haven't done so already, definitely go to your app and rate the Blessed Broadcast app. I've said this a million times. I'm sure the creator would definitely appreciate it. Leave your honest feedback. And until next time we meet, continue to live in love, light, peace, and prosperity. Peace.